Okay, so today we are going to start with basics of AWS. What are the basics of AWS? What are the things we should know before we start learning in detail about AWS? Okay, so we are not going to deep dive right now in AWS, but we should know what are the basic concept. Okay, so we'll start with region and availability zone. So what is region? What is availability zone in general? So you know uh, our real geographical area is divided into 7 continents. Similarly, Amazon has divided the geographical area of Earth into different regions. Okay, you can compare region with continent. Okay, so right now there are more than 32 regions, and there are nearly more than right now 102 availability zone. So what is availability zone and what is region in general? So Amazon has divided our physical location into different geographical areas, that is region. Okay, inside regions there are availability zone. Now what is my availability zone and what is my region? So region is basically a physical location around the world where we create a cluster data center. Now we have to talk about the data center first. Okay, now this is something image of data center. Okay, inside data center this is the servers, racks, or computer you might see. Okay, these are all computers. This is a single computer, one, two, three, four, and this is called rack. So this excuse me. So this is a data center, this is our cabinets, this is our racks inside where the computers are stored. Okay, you can see there are racks and we can connect to these computers or rack. Okay, using some tools. Now this racks create a data centers. This is a data center. This is data center. This is a one complete data center, or you can say there can be one, two, three data centers. Now collection of this data centers is called availability zone. Is called availability zone, and collection of availability zone is called region. So region is basically a cluster of data centers. Each region consists of multiple isolated and physically separated availability zone within a geographical area. Within a geographical area. Each AZ has an independent power supply, cooling area, physical security, and connected via redundant ultra low latency of network. Redundant means backup. Okay, redundant means have a backup, or connected with a redundant in general means resilient, or you can say have possibility of having multiple backups. So basically there should be a highly available network. AWS infrastructure region meets the high level of security, compliance, and data protection. So we can compare region with continents, right? Inside the continents, we have multiple countries. We can compare countries with availability zone. So just like each country has its own sets of security, water supply, resources, government, everything. Similarly, availability zone is compared to your country. It should have independent power, cooling, security, redundant network, and so on. Right? So, how region and availability zone are connected or related to each other? So, you can see the dotted line here. So, dotted line is a region. Inside a region, there should be at least 3 availability zone. According to Amazon, there should be at least three availability zone. So inside the availability zone, we have the data centers. So this is one availability zone. This is one availability zone. Similar to this, there should be three or more availability zone, and then it will be called as a region. Then it will be called as a region. Okay. So in you can see this availability zone. It has a power backup. It has a power supply, backup, cooling centers, uh, and it should have a high bandwidth as well. So this is a one availability zone. Okay, similar to this, there should be more couple of more availability zone, and the collection of three or more availability zone, it is called a region. Okay, so what is availability zone? An availability zone is one or more discrete data center with redundant power, networking, and connectivity in AWS. Okay, one or more data centers. Okay, so I will show you in. You can check it out in this URL. You can search Amazon Infra. Okay, I will paste it into the chat box. You can check it out. So we are in Asia. Okay, now here you can see in India we have two region. Okay, you can see the color here. The green dot is one region. Okay, so here it's a Mumbai region. Inside that there are three availability zone. Recently Amazon has launched a new availability zone in India, that is Hyderabad. Okay, it's not that it is located in Hyderabad. The name is given Hyderabad. Okay, so region name is Hyderabad. Now, how the availability zones are defined? A availability zone should have a power backup, connectivity, and networking. It is a data center. AZ gives customer the ability to operate production applications and database that are more highly available, tolerant, and scalable that would be possible from a single data center. So each availability zone, each data center will have all the services provided by Amazon. Whatever service Amazon provide you will be there in a single data center. What services I'm talking about? In a large level, I'm talking about CPU, RAM, storage. This is the primary three things which is required. And apart from that, there are other services as well. We are going to learn one by one. But primarily, each availability zone will have the computers, the rack, the CPU, RAMs, and so on. And whatever the service Amazon is providing you, each availability zone will have that services, right? All AZs in a region are interconnected with a high bandwidth, ultra low network with full redundant dedicated microfiber provided high throughput, low latency network between AZs. So in a region, as I said, there should be at least three availability zone, right? So all these three availability zones are connected with each other via high speed within a region. एक रीजन है, उसके अंदर थ्री अवेलेबिलिटी जोन होने चाहिए मिनिमम. Okay, if you are creating a region, and who will decide that? It is been decided by Amazon. We are not going to design that, or we don't have any power to select how the availability zones are defined. Okay, it is the actual physical server. Okay, so it has been developed and designed by Amazon, but the property is that in each availability zone there will be a data center. This is one data center, this is another data center, this is a third data center. All these are connected with each other with the high speed internet. Now these data centers, how Amazon is selecting these data centers? Edges are physically separated by a meaningful distance from many kilometers from each other, although there will be within 100 kilometers or of each other. Okay, so now how can we decide that this is a availability zone or not? Okay, now Amazon says that there should be a meaningful distance between two availability zone. Meaningful distance means, let's say there is a flood in the country, in a city. There is a flood in a city. That means your data, this data center will go down, right? It should not impact the other data center, that is the other availability zone. मतलब दो availability zone के बीच में इतना distance होना चाहिए. Okay, there should be a meaningful distance between two availability zone. If there is any natural calamity happen or man-made disaster happens, it should not impact your other availability zone. अगर कोई डिजास्टर आता है नेचुरल या मैन मेड, वो दूसरे वर्ल्ड जोन को इम्पैक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. आई विल गिव एन एग्जांपल. लेट्स से you have one data center in Mumbai, right, and one data center in Pune. Okay, Pune Mumbai has a distance of 150 kilometers nearly. So if there is a cyclone in Mumbai, will it impact Pune? Yes or no? Will it going to impact Pune?
No.
No, right? It will.
No.
It is not going to impact Pune. But let's say you have one data center in Mumbai, another data center in Navi Mumbai. This there are two data centers. One is in Mumbai, another is in Navi Mumbai. Can you call them a two different ability zone? If there is a flood in Mumbai, there are chances that it is going to impact in Navi Mumbai as well. They are nearly 30 kilometers from each other, right? So if you have a data center in Mumbai and there is a flood, there is a chances that it is going to impact Navi Mumbai as well, right? Agree? So are you going to call it a single data center or sorry, single ability zone, or you are going to call it a different two different ability zone? In this case, we are going to say them as a single availability zone. One data center in Mumbai, another data center in Navi Mumbai. Then these two data centers will be considered as a single availability zone. They will be in a single availability zone. Okay. So there should be a meaningful distance such that any natural calamity happen, it should not impact the other availability zone. Let's say a power grid failure happen. A power grid means that's a man-made issue. Your whole grid, power grid has gone down, right? This is a man-made issue. So your data center should be far enough to be called as a single availability zones. So Mumbai, then Lonavala, yes, there can be different availability zone. Mumbai, Pune, different availability zone. Mumbai, Bangalore, yes. So assume that you have one data center in Mumbai, another is in Bangalore, third is in Delhi. Will there be any impact if there is a cyclone in Mumbai to another availability zones, other data centers?
No.
So that means we can call them a different availability zone. But Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Delhi, Gurgaon, Delhi and Gurgaon. Okay, if there is a issue in Delhi, there are chances that it might impact Gurgaon as well. Agree? So, are you going to consider them as single or different altitude zone? Generally, it will come in a single altitude zone. Now, can we decide the altitude zone from our side? So, answer is no. Amazon decide that which is the altitude zone and where it is should be located. Okay, but as a theory, this is how the Amazon select the altitude zone, or they uh, define the altitude zone for us. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So there should be a meaningful distance between two data centers. The availability zone may be the availability zone may be several data centers, but if they are really close together, they are going to be counted as a one availability zone. Just we discussed that. So one availability zone could be two or more data centers that are within a say couple of miles of each other's. In that way, if there is a flood, it might take out all the three facility or it might take out the one availability zone. Okay, तो दूसरे दूसरे availability zone पे impact नहीं होना चाहिए, कुछ भी हो जाए. That's okay. That's the definition of availability zone, and it will be decided and managed by Amazon. हम decide नहीं कर सकते, right? But this is in general what availability zone is. Then you will have another availability zone that will be, it will be far away 100 kilometers, 100 miles or 100 kilometers, and if there is a flood in one area, it is not going to impact the other area. Okay, this is how your rack data center will look like. Okay, this is a relation between your availability zone and region. There is a region, inside region there will be different availability zone. So right now there are more than 30, nearly 30 availability zone, sorry, more than 30 regions as of now we are talking about, and this count is keep on increasing. Okay, so it's not that we have to learn that how many regions are there, how many availability zones are there, but in general, right now if we talk about, there are nearly 30 regions and more than 100 availability zone right now. Okay, the actual figure is something every month, every quarter, Amazons are keep on increasing the availability zone as well as the regions. So if you go in America, okay, so you can see the green one is a region. You can see this is a region. Inside that there are multiple availability zone. So this is Oregon. Okay, this is North California. These are the regions. Canada Center, North Virginia. We are going. This is the first data center or you can region which Amazon has launched. In this region, you can see there are six availability zones. Okay, there are six availability zones. Here in Ohio, there are three availability zones. Okay, so you can check it out here, and you can see the lists. So there are few regions which are in coming soon. Okay, so yes, you can see 32 region and 102 availability zone. In 2020, the figure was nearly 23 availability, region and 82 availability zone. It has increased to 32 and 102, and it is going to increase every year, day by day. Okay, so we don't have to learn about this. We just have to understand the concept here. Any question till here? Yes. Okay. Now, now we have understood availability zone. Here is the actual data centers are there. In data centers, you will find uh, all the computer, all the RAM, all the features, all the services which is provided by Amazon will be available in the availability zone. Okay. Now there is an then the region is basically group of availability zone is called a region. There should be at least three availability zone in a region, and they are connected to each other. Okay. Now the final thing we have to learn is the edge location. Edge location is a different servers or you can say a different machines which are installed by Amazon across the world, and their purpose is to create the cache. Okay, Their purpose is to create the cache. What is the cache? So whenever we visit a website or any other server, that cache is created to nearby server. So let's say this is your website. This is in this location your website is located. Let's say you are visiting facebook.com. Okay, so if all the people are trying to visit the same website, it might take time, and it also increase a load on the actual server. So what there is a concept called CDN, where the cache of the main websites are stored in intermediate servers. These are called intermediate servers. Okay, so a copy is shared and stored in intermediate servers, and from there the user will able to fetch the website. So you can see the stress on the actual server is decreased, and the performance of accessing the website is also improved. So this is called cache. In your local system also, when you visit a website, a cache is created. So you don't have to reload the website completely from the main server, actual server. Okay. To support this concept and to integrate this, there is a temporary, or you can say the local servers are installed by Amazon. They are called aid location, and their primary purpose is to store the cache of the data or a website. Okay, they are not used for computing, they are not used for providing RAM or CPU. They are simply used to store the temporary files or caches. Clear? So they are separate entities, they are not actual data centers. Okay, so we are going to learn in detail about this in CloudFront. CloudFront is a part section which we are going to cover in S3. Okay, so what we have to learn today, what we have learned today, we have to understand the difference between region, availability zone, or we call it AZ, and edge location. The region is a physical location around the world which consists of two or more availability zone. In general, three or more availability zone. And AZ is one or more discrete data centers, each with power, networking, and connectivity housing in separate facilities. It means multiple power backups. Edge location are endpoints for AWS which are used for creating the cache content. Typically consists of CloudFront, Amazon Content Delivery Network, CDN, which we are going to cover in future. So this is a different entity than AZs. Yeah, that's all. That's the basics of AWS. If you have any question, please let